Hello, my name is Tim, my company is Sports and Touring, and we are Jaguar F-Type specialists. And in the panoply of F-Types there is of course a pinnacle, and that is this car, the SVR. The F-Type as modified from the 5-litre design by Jaguar's Special Vehicle Operations to produce a production car which encroaches very firmly into supercar territory. This machine is capable of 200 miles per hour. Not only is it sizzlingly quick, the handling, the balance, the poise are all exceptional too, and then you have the looks. Well, in this gorgeous ultra blue colour, it's very eye-catching. Add to that the yellow calipers of the carbon ceramic brakes and the carbon pack and black accents around the car, and you have a visually very appealing effect indeed. This is a superb thing to have in your life, and I am very excited to show you around. Looking at the nose of the F-Type SVR, and you realise how much of it is dedicated to airflow. Airflow in order to let the engine breathe and cool, and to keep the brake temperatures under control. You can see the beautiful vents on top of the bonnet, larger than the standard F-Type vents. Likewise, the special SVR power vents on the side with that carbon Jaguar badge. And that carbon again reflected in the mirror caps and the carbon fibre roof on this particular F-Type, there to save weight on top of the car where additional weight causes reduced handling perfection. And then we come to the back of the car, and it's probably the best view, I think, of the SVR, with those quad tailpipes with the etched SVR logo on top, the carbon fibre splitter there, and this beautiful wing. Again in carbon with the little winglet tips in order to control the vortices at either end of the spoiler. Beautiful to look at and ever so purposeful too. And this particular car has been so diligently cared for. The paintwork is in exceptional condition. The wheels are perfect. The brake calipers are sparkling clean. And it is just as good inside as out. On which note, let's take a look in the cockpit. We'll supply the car, of course, with 2 remote key fobs and the owner's book pack, but there's no need to press buttons on the fob because one of the extra cost options is keyless entry. Just tap the door handle button there, the door unlocks, the power fold mirrors move out into position, and we can look into this beautiful cockpit. Starting perhaps with the door card, where you can see we've got the full memory seat package with adjustable lumbar support and this beautiful lozenge leather with contrast blue stitching and blue piping too. It's all in stunningly good order, as is the tread plate, which is illuminated there with the Jaguar logo. And then we come to these gorgeous seats, the performance seats in lozenge leather with the SVR logo embossed in the headrest. They look superb and they are so comfortable to drive while holding uniquely in position round the bends. Sitting down into the cockpit, and we'll take a look around. So between the 2 headrests, a little stowage pocket there, and then we've got the armrest with 12-volt socket, micro SIM card slot and USB and HDMI sockets. Forward of that, the twin cup holders with a little recess to take one of those drinks cans. And to explore the centre console, let's fire up the supercharged V8. So we do that with the stop-start button there, foot on the brake, and you'll see the instruments will do their little flying display as they self-test. The revs are settling down slightly higher than usual to protect the catalytic converter and warm it up suitably, and the centre air vent has also come up into its normal operating position. Down to the centre console then, and we've got the Eco Stop Start Defeat button. We've got the spoiler up and down button, which enables you to adjust the spoiler, particularly if you're going to wash the car. It's easier to get under it with the spoiler up. Traction control off. I do recommend exploring these cars with the traction off, but do so in a controlled environment the first time. Then we've got the active switchable sports exhaust button, which opens the valves in the exhaust system and gives you that throatier engine note. Electronic parking brake, of course, with hill start assist, and onto the driving mode selector. So here is where you set up the car either for normal driving, or in the winter in slippery conditions you can go for rain, ice and snow. That calms the car down, particularly it softens the throttle map a very great deal so that you're less likely to suffer traction problems. Back into normal driving mode and then to dynamic driving mode. And you can see there dynamic mode confirmed on the instrument binnacle, which has also turned to red backlighting to indicate that you're now in full-on tutti frutti driving mode. And that means the throttle map, gearbox map, steering map and suspension have all been refined for a sportier, more dynamic experience. Over to the shift stick, and it is a beautiful piece of design with the trigger on the front there, the park button on the top. You can pull the trigger and move into drive like so, and then flick it across into sport mode. Then you can shift up and down using the shift stick if you wish to. I personally would be using the aluminium paddles on the steering wheel so that I can keep my hands on the wheel at all times and keep the car under perfect control, but you can use the shift stick if you want to. And then we can look at the climate control section here. So we've got the auto and air conditioning, timed recirculation, front and rear demist, and the front electric demist. So this windscreen has those little wires running through it which heat up and clear the windscreen incredibly rapidly should you need that in the winter because of ice or any kind of condensation. Dual zone climate, so passenger and driver can set their own temperatures, and these seats are also heated and cooled. So press the button and you have 3-stage cooling and 3-stage heating as well. Very effective either in the depths of winter or the height of summer. Up to the infotainment screen, and I'm not going to take ages here. I will say that it's very fully featured. We've got the music, of course, at the moment. DAB radio is there, but we've also got Bluetooth audio and the media library, and there's FM and AM radio as well. Bluetooth telephony, very crisp and clear, easy to use. The climate is controlled there with the airflow selections and sync button in order to synchronize the two temperatures like so. Back to the home screen, and satellite navigation is there. You may see at the moment it's saying sign into your account just there. It's often a little bright when we shoot these videos because the screen is so bright indoors. But if you purchase one of these, then once your V5C has come in the post, it's a question of going to a dealership, chatting to the sales team, and they will associate you with the car in Jaguar's in-control system. Okay, back to the home screen, and if we explore to the right we can see that we've got valet mode as an extra cost option on this particular car. We've got in-control apps, and then over here we've got dynamic eye. So if you're in dynamic driving mode as we are at the moment, you can use this screen, for example, to have comfort suspension but dynamic engine, gear shift and steering. And through this screen you've also got the stopwatch and G meter and the pedal position indicator with its graph. If you take one of these on the track, that's useful for looking at the way that you've handled the car around one lap before you set off on the next one perhaps. Okay, back to the home screen, and another feature there is the ambient lighting. So we can change the ambient lighting in this car provided we're not in dynamic mode. We can change the colour through blue to the other shades and adjust the brightness as well within the cockpit like so. Okay, back to the home screen, and we'll come over to the steering wheel with, of course, the SVR logo there on the bottom, and we've got the left thumb pad with the infotainment controls and Bluetooth telephony button, the right thumb pad with the cruise control and active speed limiter, and the heated steering wheel button. So lovely to have a heated steering wheel when the weather is cold, I must say. And then over on the left hand stalk we've got the automatic headlamps, and on the right hand stalk the rain sensitive wipers. And then just in front of my right knee there you can see a little switch panel with the power tailgate release, the lane keep assist button, rear fog light and the instrument binnacle dimmer. And you can maybe just make out in the footwell there that we have the stainless steel pedals in this car as well with their rubber grip mats. So sumptuously well equipped, some great options on this particular SVR, and of course this beautiful suede cloth here accenting the driver's part of the car. Everything around this cockpit is in stunningly good order. There's no wear on the steering wheel or on the side bolsters of the seats. It's all in fabulous condition wherever you look. Okay, we'll switch the engine off and take a look in the boot. When Jaguar set out to design the F-Type, they knew it had to be practical, and that is why they gave it such an enormous boot. Over 300 litres of space, in fact. Plenty for long-distance touring, maybe to explore some of Europe's most fabulous roads. Just imagine those roads in North Italy with the sprints separated by the hairpin bends in this car. What a wonderful experience that would be. Plenty of room for golf clubs, by the way. They go in diagonally and then swing round, making use of the fact that the boot extends behind the rear wheel arches on both sides. And there's also a useful cubby hole just down here where you can keep some bits and pieces. And by the way, you'll see a little blinking light there, which is the battery charging connector fitted to this car so that it can live in your garage on charge when it needs to, without having to start messing around with crocodile clips and that kind of thing. We'll put that back together and lower the tailgate using the button on the tailgate itself. Power tailgate, of course, operated either from the buttons on it or from the remote key fob. And then we can come around here to the passenger side of the car. And, oh, let me point out the Jaguar logo, by the way, there on the door handles, which is a lovely piece of design too. And again, we see a perfect door card, I dare say, as it left the factory. The tread plate, scuff plate in fantastic order with that illuminated Jaguar logo. And again, this side, the dashboard, carpet and matte, centre console, and this beautiful performance seat with its lozenge leather, all in fantastically good condition. Next port of call, I guess, is the engine. The F-Type bonnet is notably large, and that's for reasons of weight saving and strength. And it also enables great access to this engine bay because with a rubber mat placed here, a technician can lean very easily over the engine compartment. And there we see the supercharger on top of the 5-litre V8. On an F-Type, which isn't an SVR, you would see a plastic cover there, but not on the SVR itself because cooling requirements mean that it must be removed, and instead there's a plate there which protects the bonnet above the supercharger from the most localised heating. And what about the numbers then? Well, 0 to 60 in 3.7 seconds, a top speed in VMAX mode of 200 miles per hour, and 567 horsepower or 575 PS, driven through the fabulous ZF automatic gearbox and the all-wheel drive system, which fundamentally is rear-wheel drive until the car senses that power needs to be sent to the front wheels, and then an appropriate amount of power is sent in that direction. But as I always say in my videos of F-Types, this isn't about numbers. This isn't a drag racing car. This is a car about passion and emotion and feeling and connection, and in particular, the feeling that you have sitting there in the driver's seat of connection between you and your mind and your thoughts and your hands and your feet and the car's controls and its responses and its manoeuvres on the road and your journey on the road to your destination. That is what the F-Type does best. It takes you in stunning style with brilliant performance from A to B, where the journey is as much the destination as the place that you are heading to. That's why we love F-Types. We drive them every day. It's such a pleasure to be around them, and in particular, such a pleasure to do so much driving in them. And when we're driving an SVR, that is absolutely the peak of the week's activities. By the way, you can see everything here in fabulously good order, very clean and crisp. The car's passed all our inspections without any problems, excellent service history. It will be serviced by our wonderful friends at Marshall Jaguar in Newbury before it's handed over to its next keeper, whom I'm sure it will delight in spades. So thank you very much indeed for watching. It's been a huge pleasure to show you this beautiful SVR. We're Sports and Touring. We're just outside Andover in Hampshire, open 7 days a week by appointment only. You're very welcome to telephone, email or WhatsApp us if you have any questions, or if you'd like to see this car in person or by video call. It'll be a pleasure to send you a link to the Google Drive. That's our online folder with higher resolution photos, which you can zoom in on, and PDF copies of important documents. If on your buying journey you need to dispose of your present car, we will give you frank and honest advice about the best way to achieve the maximum value with the minimum inconvenience. And if you'd like to chat about finance, we can do that as well. We're authorised and regulated by the FCA, and we work with a really brilliant broker. Do please take a few moments to read our reviews in Auto Trader. I'm very proud indeed of the things that our previous customers say about us. And I'll close by saying thank you again. Feel free to like and subscribe to us here on YouTube, and we will look forward to hearing from you very soon. Contact details in a moment.